Welcome to our deep dive into the legal frameworks surrounding genomics. As genetic technologies rapidly advance, the law must keep pace to address new challenges and opportunities. In this video, we'll explore how legal systems around the world are responding to the rise of genomics, from privacy concerns to intellectual property and ethical considerations. Whether you're a student, professional, or simply curious, understanding these frameworks is essential in today's data-driven society. Let's begin by defining what genomics is and why it's become such a pivotal area for legal regulation. Genomics is the study of the complete set of DNA, including all of its genes in a person or organism. Unlike genetics, which focuses on individual genes, genomics looks at the entire genome and how genes interact with each other and the environment. This field has revolutionized medicine, agriculture, and research, but it also raises complex legal questions. As we move forward, keep in mind how the scope of genomics impacts the laws that govern its use and application. Legal frameworks are essential in genomics because they set the boundaries for what is permissible and protect individual rights. Without clear laws, there's a risk of misuse, discrimination, or privacy breaches. Legal structures help ensure that genomic research and applications are conducted ethically and responsibly. They also provide guidance for companies, researchers, and healthcare providers, ensuring everyone operates on a level playing field. Let's now look at the key areas these frameworks address. One of the most significant legal concerns in genomics is privacy. Genomic data is deeply personal and can reveal sensitive information about an individual and their relatives. Laws such as the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, in Europe set strict requirements for collecting, storing, and sharing genetic data. These regulations aim to protect individuals from unauthorized access and misuse of their genetic information. As we explore further, notice how privacy laws differ across regions and why harmonization is challenging. Informed consent is a cornerstone of ethical genomics research and clinical practice. Before collecting or using someone's genetic data, researchers and clinicians must ensure that individuals understand what will happen with their information. Legal frameworks often require clear written consent that outlines the purpose, risks, and benefits of participation. This process helps protect autonomy and builds trust between participants and researchers. However, the complexity of genomics can make truly informed consent challenging to achieve. Sharing genomic data accelerates scientific discovery, but it also raises legal and ethical questions. Legal frameworks must balance the benefits of open data with the need to protect privacy. Some countries have strict rules about cross-border data transfers, while others encourage international collaboration. Agreements and guidelines such as the Global Alliance for Genomics and Health (GOF4GH) help set standards for responsible data sharing. Let's examine how these approaches impact research and innovation. Intellectual property (IP) rights play a crucial role in genomics, especially regarding patents on genes, tests, and technologies. Legal frameworks determine what can and cannot be patented, influencing innovation and access. For example, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that naturally occurring genes cannot be patented, but synthetic DNA can. These decisions shape the business landscape and affect how new genomic tools reach the market. Understanding IP law is vital for anyone working in this field. Ethics and law often intersect in genomics. Issues like genetic discrimination, consent, and the use of genomic data for non-medical purposes require careful legal oversight. Ethical guidelines, often embedded in legal frameworks, help ensure that advances in genomics benefit society without causing harm. These considerations are especially important as technologies like gene editing become more accessible. Let's explore how laws address these ethical challenges. Genetic discrimination occurs when individuals are treated unfairly based on their genetic information. Laws like the Genetic Information Non-Discrimination Act, (GINA), in the U.S. prohibit employers and insurers from using genetic data to make decisions. However, gaps remain in many countries, and enforcement can be challenging. Legal protections are evolving to keep pace with new risks, but ongoing vigilance is needed to ensure fairness and equality. Genetic testing is now widely available, from clinical diagnostics to direct-to-consumer kits. Legal frameworks regulate who can offer these tests, how results are communicated, and what standards must be met. In some regions, only licensed professionals can interpret genetic data, while others allow broader access. These regulations aim to protect consumers from misleading claims and ensure the accuracy and reliability of test results. Direct-to-consumer (DTC) genomic testing has exploded in popularity, offering people insights into ancestry, health, and traits. However, DTC genomics raises unique legal issues such as advertising claims, data security, and the right to know or not know certain information. Legal frameworks are adapting to address these challenges, often requiring transparency, clear consent, and oversight of marketing practices. Genomics is a global field, but legal frameworks vary widely across countries. Some nations have comprehensive laws covering privacy, consent, and data sharing, while others have limited or outdated regulations. International agreements and collaborations aim to harmonize standards, but differences in culture, politics, and resources make this a complex task. Understanding these variations is crucial for multinational research and business. Ethics committees, also known as institutional review boards (IRBs), play a vital role in overseeing genomic research. These bodies review study protocols to ensure that legal and ethical standards are met, especially regarding consent and participant protection. Their decisions help shape the conduct of research and provide an additional layer of accountability. Let's see how these committees interact with legal frameworks. Legal frameworks often provide special protections for children in genomics. Issues like consent, privacy, and the long-term impact of genetic information are particularly sensitive when minors are involved. Laws may require parental consent, limit certain types of testing, or restrict how data can be used. These safeguards aim to protect vulnerable populations while enabling valuable research. Insurance companies are increasingly interested in genetic data for assessing risk and setting premiums. Legal frameworks in some countries restrict how insurers can use this information to prevent discrimination. For example, the UK has a voluntary moratorium on using genetic test results for most insurance policies. These laws aim to balance the interests of insurers with the need to protect individuals from unfair treatment. Employers may seek access to genetic information for health and safety reasons, but this raises significant legal and ethical concerns. Laws like GINA in the US prohibit most uses of genetic data in employment decisions. However, exceptions exist and enforcement varies. Legal frameworks must carefully define what is allowed to protect workers' rights while addressing legitimate workplace needs. Forensic genomics uses genetic data to solve crimes and identify individuals. Legal frameworks regulate how law enforcement can collect, store, and use DNA evidence. Issues like consent, data retention, and the use of public genetic databases are hotly debated. Laws aim to balance public safety with privacy rights, but rapid technological advances often outpace regulation. Gene editing technologies like CRISPR have opened new frontiers in medicine and agriculture. Legal frameworks are evolving to address the risks and benefits of editing human, animal, and plant genomes. Some countries ban certain applications, such as germline editing, while others allow regulated research. These laws reflect societal values and scientific uncertainty, making regulation a moving target. Biobanks store large collections of genetic samples and data for research. Legal frameworks govern how these resources are collected, stored, accessed, and shared. Issues like consent, privacy, and benefit sharing are central to biobank regulation. Laws aim to maximize research value while protecting participants' rights and interests. Benefit sharing refers to the fair distribution of advantages arising from genomic research. Legal frameworks may require researchers to share benefits with participants, communities, or countries, especially when using indigenous or local genetic resources. These laws promote equity and trust, but implementation can be complex and controversial. Genomic research often involves collaboration across borders, raising legal questions about data transfer, consent, and oversight. Different countries have different rules, making compliance challenging. International agreements and harmonized standards can help, but researchers must navigate a patchwork of laws to ensure ethical and legal conduct. Public health agencies use genomics to track diseases, develop treatments, and inform policy. Legal frameworks set rules for data collection, sharing, and use in public health contexts. These laws must balance individual privacy with the need to protect community health, especially during outbreaks or pandemics. Human rights principles underpin many legal frameworks in genomics. The right to privacy, autonomy, and non-discrimination are central to laws governing genetic data. International declarations and treaties, such as the Universal Declaration on the Human Genome and Human Rights, set important standards for protecting individuals in the genomic era. Securing genomic data is a top legal priority. Laws require organizations to implement safeguards against unauthorized access, breaches, and misuse. Security measures include encryption, access controls, and regular audits. Failure to protect data can result in legal penalties and loss of public trust. Secondary use of genomic data, using it for purposes beyond the original intent, requires special legal consideration. Laws may require new consent or limit certain uses to protect participants. Clear communication and transparency are essential to maintain trust and comply with regulations. Indigenous communities have unique legal rights regarding their genetic resources and traditional knowledge. Legal frameworks increasingly recognize the need for free, prior, and informed consent, as well as benefit sharing. These protections aim to prevent exploitation and respect cultural values. Patent law in genomics determines what genetic inventions can be protected and commercialized. Legal frameworks set criteria for novelty, utility, and non-obviousness. Recent court decisions have clarified that naturally occurring DNA cannot be patented, but synthetic modifications can. These rules shape innovation and access to new technologies. The open science movement encourages sharing genomic data and research findings to accelerate discovery. Legal frameworks must balance openness with privacy and intellectual property concerns. Policies may require data sharing while protecting sensitive information and respecting participant rights. Genomic evidence is increasingly used in criminal investigations and court cases. Legal frameworks set standards for collecting, analyzing, and presenting DNA evidence. Issues like chain of custody, reliability, and the rights of suspects are central to these laws. Ensuring justice requires careful regulation and oversight. As genomics becomes part of routine healthcare, legal frameworks address the risk of medical malpractice. Providers must follow standards for testing, interpretation, and communication of results. Failure to do so can lead to liability claims. Laws aim to protect patients and ensure high-quality care. Genomic technologies are transforming reproductive medicine, from pre-implantation genetic diagnosis to gene editing. Legal frameworks regulate what procedures are allowed, who can access them, and how results are used. These laws reflect ethical debates and societal values, often evolving as technology advances. Legal frameworks protect individuals with genetic conditions from discrimination in employment, education, and access to services. Laws like the Americans with Disabilities Act (ADA) extend protections to those with genetic predispositions. These rules promote inclusion and equal opportunity in society. Consumer protection laws regulate how genomic products and services are marketed, sold, and delivered. These frameworks require accurate information, fair practices, and recourse for dissatisfied customers. Regulatory agencies may oversee advertising, labeling, and quality standards to protect consumers. Who owns genomic data? Legal frameworks differ, with some granting ownership to individuals, others to researchers or companies. Ownership affects control, access, and the ability to benefit from data. Clear laws are needed to resolve disputes and protect stakeholders' interests. How long should genomic data be kept? Legal frameworks set retention periods to balance research value with privacy risks. Some laws require data to be deleted after a certain time, while others allow indefinite storage with safeguards. These rules help manage risk and maintain public trust. Participants in genomic research have the right to withdraw consent at any time. Legal frameworks specify how withdrawal is handled, including data deletion and the impact on ongoing research. Clear procedures protect participant rights and ensure ethical conduct. Data breaches involving genomic information can have serious consequences. Legal frameworks require organizations to report breaches, notify affected individuals, and take corrective action. Penalties for noncompliance can be severe, emphasizing the importance of robust security measures. Anonymizing genomic data helps protect privacy, but complete anonymity can be difficult to achieve. Legal frameworks set standards for de-identification and limit re-identification risks. These measures are essential for ethical research and compliance with privacy laws. Data portability allows individuals to access and transfer their genomic data between providers. Legal frameworks like GDPR grant this right, empowering individuals and promoting competition. Clear rules ensure data is transferred securely and efficiently. Research ethics are central to legal frameworks in genomics. Laws require transparency, accountability, and respect for participants. Ethical review boards oversee studies to ensure compliance, and violations can result in sanctions or loss of funding. Genomic data is increasingly used in clinical trials to develop personalized treatments. Legal frameworks set requirements for consent, data protection, and reporting. These rules ensure that trials are conducted safely and ethically, protecting participants and advancing science. Data governance refers to the policies and procedures for managing genomic data. Legal frameworks require organizations to establish clear governance structures, assign responsibilities, and monitor compliance. Good governance ensures data is used responsibly and lawfully. As genomics technology evolves, new legal challenges will emerge. Issues like artificial intelligence, big data analytics, and synthetic biology will require updated laws and policies. Staying informed and adaptable is key to ensuring that legal frameworks keep pace with innovation. We've covered a wide range of legal frameworks that shape the field of genomics. From privacy and consent to intellectual property and ethical oversight, these laws are essential for protecting individuals and promoting responsible innovation. As genomics continues to transform science and society, legal frameworks will play a crucial role in guiding its development. Future of genomics law is dynamic and full of promise. As technology advances, legal frameworks must evolve to address new risks and opportunities. Ongoing dialogue among scientists, lawmakers, and the public will be essential to ensure that genomics benefits everyone while respecting rights and values. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the legal landscape of genomics.